cool.
Perfect.
It's like an anesthesiologist, right? 5, 4, 3, and you're gone.
And you're gone.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
beautiful when things just come together in the most beautiful way. I don't like the words fall into place because that's so random. And life is not random.
No, it is not. No.
No, there's the thinking that life is this happenstance where we have no availability of connection between people and angels and all of that beauty is it's not no.
What she said.
Yeah.
It's just
Right?
not. Daphne said to me at the beginning of our backstage talk, she's like, so what are we going to talk about?
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about?
Well, and you know what? Actions, the actions that we can take with our own mental health. But there's a big continuum within our world of emotions. And we got to name it to be able to action it, because even the simplest action needs a verb. Go to the store. What store? If we don't clearly identify what store, then that's when Buddy comes back with pizza when you really wanted something else, and then enter the emotion. So if we can continually open up the discussion, then we open up, I love this word, the portal. The language portal. Wow. New choices and second chances. Because, I mean, here we all are in our 20s at one phase of life. Anywhere we are now.
No kidding, right? Yeah. Totally. I actually would not want to go back there.
Me neither.
I would not want to. Yeah.
No, I can do it with enough rest and be able to I can pull out that 20-year-old and do the things that I need to do with my grandchildren, etc.
Yeah.
But that experience again? Why?
Exactly. Yes. I mean, everything that we've done, everything that we've experienced, every choice or decision we made or did not make has led us to where we are right now. And to change anything back there changes who you are today, right now. And, I'm still learning and growing forward, and I'm good with that.
I love how I met Sandra because I was volunteering with an organization, and we became friends. And then Sandra and I volunteered to go somewhere and volunteered something else.
Yes.
And that's how the friendship began with us, and how our friendship has grown since then. And the things that, Sandra and I have come together to work together, and talking about collaboration, cooperation. I mean, that's the emotions of beauty.
Yeah, operating in a place whereby we can collectively come together and share our resources. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
It is. It truly is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you can do it with an open heart, with the giving, and without the feeling of competition or I'm not good enough. When you can bring yourself and your resources, your experience, your heart, and just freely collaborate and freely give, that's a great space to be in. That's a great space to be in.
A safe space.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a safe space where life will still
Oh yeah.
bring in. It's like on the movies when there's that safe house,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
along comes the boogeyman or the nemesis or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
breaking
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, life still happens. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just life.
It
So
is. It is. Yeah.
opening up that language portal, new
Mm-hmm.
choices and second chances. Last year, each of us made choices to
Mm-hmm.
change the direction of our careers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I left behind the corporate world. I'm like, peace out. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do it in that way. A physical experience brought out an emotional experience, brought out a soul experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you, Sandra, you
Yeah.
continued your education.
I did. I had been thinking about it for about a year, and I did the am I too old for this? And am I good enough to be able to do this? And one day I went and I hit the apply button, and then had a moment of, oh my God, what did I just do? And that began my journey towards my RMT, so registered massage therapy, which I'm halfway through my second year. But oh my gosh, the fear, the excitement, the am I going to be able to do this? Am I not going to be able to do this? Schoolwork? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really overwhelming, and it is still. I'm not going to lie, it is still a little overwhelming. But you know what is, as I know what's on the other side of it, and that's where I want to be, and so that's where I'm going.
Well, Sandra, can I please get you to share with everybody what it is that you do right now as well? Because you do so many amazing things and you have so many offerings for people.
Well, I do Lomi Lomi massage, which is Hawaiian massage. It's just very relaxing, and Daphne and I do that together as well. I do have the portal, and I know Nancy, you have the laser or the portal?
I got the portal.
The portal.
I've got the infrared probe, the violet probe, and the two
Yeah.
wellness mats.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I've got the probe and the two lasers, and I just got the small mat. So I mean, there's that. I am going to school. It's a full-time project. I do personal training and nutrition coaching. I watch my grandson as much as what I can. And in fact, today I have 3 of 8. I've got 8 grandchildren. So I've got 3 here today. So 2 9-year-olds and a 7-year-old. And they are sitting in their tent in the back room with their iPads.
They're camping.
It's like,
how cool is
go.
that? They're camping. I
Yeah.
love it.
So it's
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I do books for my husband's company as well. So I do payroll and stuff like that. So it's like an ongoing.
Yeah.
I don't generally have any downtime. It's a go kind of life.
And that's that mom, grandma, wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and
Mm-hmm.
learning to be able to tell the world more about what we feel.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, Reiki. I forgot Reiki. I do Reiki, and I'm a Reiki teacher. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that too.
Right. Like,
You as well. Yeah. And Daphne.
yeah. Daph's got the Reiki.
Yeah.
We've all got the Reiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know, the one thing that all of this has done is it's given me it is teaching me to use my voice, to use my words, to use my language. I was going through a phase here. I'm going to say a phase because it's just right until you have the awareness. And once you have the awareness, then you realize what you're telling yourself, your internal words, your internal language. I started taking self-care out of the picture for myself so that I had more time to do everything else. And when you take out your own self-care and you let your boundaries go, like you stop taking care of you, how do you have what you need to take care of everything else that you take care of? You know,
That's the plane crash.
that is, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
on this rebound and learning, remembering that my needs are just as important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So using language, using those words to be able to express that to people. And you know what? Your friends understand when you say, oh, I can't.
Yeah. And it's that, why are we bending over backwards for people that don't even have our back?
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing you shared this morning, Nancy, on Facebook.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. My dear friend Trent Sheldon has amazing words that he speaks. He's raw. He's uncut. I've got a lot of raw people in my life.
Yeah.
And it's important. You know, we can build a bridge and get over it. And then we can determine which gates we open and close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because if you let the dog in your backyard, it's going to shit.
Yes. Every time.
True story.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's true.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah. It's funny. It really is. So a universe where we can share the stories of our bravest and most heartbreaking moments with each other in a way that builds connection. We were talking about a safe space, and safety, I believe, is built through vulnerability.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Someone's got to go first. That was Daphne, because Daphne did her memoir first.
Okay. So I was just caught up. But yes, I mean, that's where, you know, the Sacred Hearts Rising anthology series started me on my journey and sharing my story of my life and the difficult times in my life. And I didn't realize how much I had swallowed and hidden things within me because I just had to deal with it and I just got through it. You know, and then I wrote a second chapter and I was lucky, as I roll my eyes to say this, but Nancy finally agreed to, you know, be in the second book with me. And then that's when I decided to write my own memoir. And Nancy has written amazing chapters for so many different amazing books. But now she's also working on her memoir. That's awesome. I mean, I think Sandra's got one in the works somewhere in the back of her mind. After she's
there. It's about right here right now.
Okay, but it's there. It's still there.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
It's there. I was reading this morning about the editing process of writing. And sometimes we're editing as we're writing. Sometimes we're writing as we're editing. And I'm already in my mind, same spot, working on the second memoir.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Because I had to end it somewhere, right? And I'm like, oh my God, but what about this? Well, write it.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
Yeah.
Journaling is a beautiful experience. I recommend it daily.
You know, if you can get the editor out of your head and just, you know, just excuse my just vomit on the page.
I like that.
Let it all out. The editor can come in later and make some of those decisions. I used to write. I've written a medieval romance novel. No, it's not been published, but I used to write all the time, and I let some outside voices get in my head, and I stopped writing. But you know, it's there, and it'll come. And you know, but I used to do the editing while I was writing, and that can freeze you, right? That can stop your sovereignty. That can stop your voice because you think, oh, who's gonna read this? Oh, maybe I shouldn't say it this way because somebody might take this way. Even though you're not really writing about anybody, you're writing from your own experience, your own perspective. If you can get that editor out of your head to start with and just get it all down and go through it later, I think that's the perfect way to do it.
My book was published back in 2021. And I still, to this day, inside my head think, why would people want to read my book?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and you both read it, so you know what's in it. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that have read it, commend me on writing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's because it's me and it's my life and I lived it.
Yeah.
But then, my publisher said, you don't really talk about what you do now. I said, I didn't really talk about what I do now in my book. Like Nancy's talking about her second memoir.
Yeah.
That's what my publisher said. Well, you can write that in your next book.
Mm-hmm.
The next
Exactly.
chapter, the next book,
The next chapter.
experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we take it bird by bird, there's a beautiful book by Anna Lamont, I believe. Bird by bird, word by word, sentence by sentence,
Yes.
paragraph, chapter, experience. When I
Mm-hmm.
first took on the experience of writing, it was an essay. And I'm like, oh shit, I did that. I wrote an essay back in 1987 that got me a scholarship. I could do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how
awesome.
it, yeah.
But
going back to the emotional part,
mm-hmm.
biology, our beliefs show up in our bodies.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. Why?
Totally. Why do they show up in our body? I mean, because we're everything, right? We're energy. We're everything has to show up. Everything is there. But it's really funny how our thoughts, how our feelings, how our emotions come through our body and how they settle in different areas in our body.
It is.
It really is. It is.
There's a lot of literature out there for that as well. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a great entry point. And you know what you said earlier about vomiting. So imagine if the sheath that protects that holds all of that in wasn't there, and we were emotionally vomiting all day long.
Oh, well.
I can speak to that experience after coming back from my head injury. I had no filter.
Yes.
And whatever I thought came out. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then conditioning, I learned how to not do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, what is that? It's called tact, right? It's when to say something, when not to say something. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is go, nope. Sometimes you have to know your audience, know who you're talking to, as to how much you feel that they are open to receiving what you have to say. And, I have this one friend, Joanne, she lives in town here, and she likes to do this every once in a while. And when we talk, she says, I'm going to play devil's advocate. And I'm going, okay, here we go. And I know she's not saying anything to, I know she loves me. I know she's got my interest in the forefront of her mind when she's speaking. So she can feel free. She doesn't have to filter. Yeah. But you can't just do that with everybody. You just can't. And some people will accept what you have to say and some people won't. But like I said, sometimes that's okay. Yeah, absolutely. Because maybe you're not the one to deliver that message. And, sometimes it's just easier. Easier is not the right word. That's kind of a cop-out. I think it's just really important to know, and that comes from experience too. And sometimes it comes from speaking when you went, I should have just kept my mouth shut. And you learn, I guess the thought just popped in my head, right? I guess people really do teach us how to treat them because we learn by our experience and our speaking and our sharing what is accepted and what isn't accepted. And so we learned not to do certain things with certain people.
Well, and Nancy, that was so wonderful how you put your weight thing up there. I don't know if Sandra knows that story.
Oh, see, this is something that I learned through being an animal companion, end-of-life doula, to really think inside a lot. Because I do not, cannot, will not, must not express my beliefs
Oh, yes.
My opinion.
Yeah.
I am there as a companion for the animal
Yeah.
and the person. It is not my decision.
Exactly. Yes.
Can you explain what wait means to her, though?
Why am I talking?
True. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But we have been conditioned. Oh my God. Our biology. I mean, that's the family. Biography, I mean. Yeah. Boy. Yeah, huge.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just reading this, right? So, get curious about our families. Our families definitely mold how we present ourselves going forward. You know, I didn't see it as much when I was going through, like with my kids. I was the youngest of four for 6 years. Then my little sister came along, stole my spot. I was no longer the baby. I love you, Michelle. But it's funny how our families and then they shape our beliefs. When we're constantly in that energy and we're constantly in and around people with certain beliefs, with experiences that they're sharing, and they kind of, you know, especially I think in a family setting, how we sort of project ourselves, what we feel is right, what we've experienced onto, you know, how many times have I said, you know, to my kids, to not so much my grandkids, but you know, to my kids, it's like, trust me, I know you got to do it this way. But that might not be their experience at all. Right? So I mean, when you're doing that, it's you're not giving them the ability to have the experience. My son always wanted to be, well, two things. He always wanted to race car. He wanted to drive race cars. In Sangudo, Daphne, you know, the track. He always wanted to do that. And I went, there's no way. I can't sit there and know that you're doing that. I can't. So no, you're not doing that. And he never did. He's a really good driver. He also wanted to be an electrician. And I went, oh, well, you can't do that. You're colorblind. You can't do that. He said, Mom, they number the wires now. I said, yeah, but not all. And he never did that. And there are times when I think I should have let him be and experience everything he needed to be an experience, instead of pushing my belief, my fears, my whatever onto him. He is a millwright now. He's an amazing guy. He's a dad. Yeah. But, you know, there's still those times, like when you're talking about, you know, what beliefs have we not only received from our families, but given to our families? That's probably the scarier one. Yeah.
And then the community, because that's, we're talking about the microcosm. What the macrocosm? The macrocosm that says this is a generational belief. Wow, that's a big one.
That is a big one. That is a big one. Yeah. You know, because you start getting into generational epigenetics and stuff like that. That carries through. How much are we a part of our generations, like our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents? My brother went to Ireland. He was doing some England. He's been to Ireland too, but him and his wife, so Danny and Nadine were in England and doing some research on my great-great-grandmother. And in some of his research, he's found like a lot of the women in my family history on that one side ended up being a single parent, even back in those days. And as my brother said, you know, looking at like his sisters, so me and my sisters and my mother and my grandmother, and it's like, you know, there's a long line of very strong-willed women. And you think, well, that's generational. Is that a bad thing though? I don't think so.
No,
But
no,
you know,
it's
when you start getting into just some of the beliefs that are carried down and through, for sure.
well, it's the pool's been tainted so
Oh, for
much by
sure.
the
Mhm.
agenda of the conversations in our socioeconomical political situation.
Mhm.
That's a big one. That covers a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because if you want to disempower a group of people, label them as victims.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. You know, that victim mentality and that's a tough one to get out of. It's so easy to fall into. But you have to be willing to hear what other people have to say too, I think. And I guess that's where it comes from, having somebody who can actually sit there with you and have an honest conversation. And you have to be able to receive it, knowing that this person isn't out to hurt you in any way, but to encourage and help and be there for you as you climb out of the hole that you're in. You know, you have to. In the Tibetan Book of Life and Death, there is a story. It's in our Reiki book, and it talks about walking down the street and falling in a hole, and it's not my fault.
Love that story.
It's not my fault. I don't know how I got here. And then you walk down the street, you fall in that same hole. Still not your fault. It's not my fault. But I think I know how I got here. And you walk down that street again, you fall in the hole, and you go, it is my fault. I know how I got here. You walk down the street, you see the hole. You walk down another street. There's always going to be another hole. But, you know, it really comes to, you have to come to that awareness that we make the choices of what we're going to do. It's not anybody's fault. And we're in the position we're in from the choices that we've made or not made. I mean, whether yes or no, it's still a decision, right? A decision is a decision, whether you make one or not. It's still a decision.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah. So, you know, when you get into that victim mentality of, you know, it's not my fault. I don't know how I got here. It's somebody else's fault. You know, how come nobody's coming to help me? Well, I can stand over here at the top of the hole. I can throw you down a ladder. You can climb up it if you want. And when you're ready, I'll be up here and I can support you. But I'm not coming down the hole. I'm not coming down the hole with you.
Nope.
I'm not going to sit in that.
No, it's you got to throw the life preserver out and let someone grasp it. We are not all trained as lifeguards. I know
exactly. Yeah. No, same here. I mean, it's not my job to pick you up, dust you off, and make everything easy for you, because then you don't learn how to take the steps to get you there. You'll keep on falling until you do. I can say, if it was me, this is what I do, but I'm coming from my perspective, through my filters, through the experiences that I've had in my life. I don't know the experiences. I don't know what your filters are, but I can be here and you can take what I say or not. I'll support you how I can, but I can't take the experience from you. If I take the experience from you, you don't learn how to do it on your own. And that's where the power is. Having the support, but going through the experience.
Yeah, because if you don't get the experience, then the lesson comes in another direction. We call that karma.
Yeah, it'll keep coming. Yeah, it'll keep coming to you.
Yeah, you signed up for this, sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I agree.
And I'm going to toss it back to Daphne. Bam.
What are we tossing back to me?
Go-to behaviors.
Well, and I was just thinking about, you know, talking about taking experiences away from people and not allowing them to think the things that they need to experience, and then life happens. I call that the universal 2x4. I mean, myself, years ago, I wasn't listening to the universe and I got sick because I was go. Like you said, Sandra, I wasn't setting boundaries for myself. And so like I said, I was go, 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 go. So the universe made me sick. I was sick, like really sick. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to stay home. I can get this, and this done. Perfect. Right. Yeah. So I stayed home. I got a whole bunch of things done. And then I was on my way to pick up my son from daycare. And the universe put a school bus in my path that ran the yellow light.
Oh, yeah.
I got out of my Jeep and I went, really? Okay, I hear you now.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow down. You know, so, and what you said there, Nancy, you know, behavior, examine your go-to behaviors. I notice when I get going too hard, I'm like, okay. And I hear that little inkling from the universe saying, psst, slow down. So now I listen because I've learned that lesson. Right. And I'm sure we each have stories of, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
When, you know, she asked me to be an author in the first book, I was like, no. Right. But I am grateful for that experience. I'm grateful for, you know, both of you helping me to write my memoir because it has brought me to the place I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that you two helped me find my words to do that. And I'm grateful that I can be the person I am and support you two to do what you do as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, that one day that we were sitting having tea, Sandra, and you said, do you think what we do, we could do it together? And we're like, sure. I mean, Nancy can speak from the experience if she chooses to.
Yeah.
Tremendous, because every single support worker, healer, whichever way you want to describe the universal transmission of being a conduit of energy, we all have different gifts and abilities. There's no way that you can replicate that within the human experience, within the human sphere. You just can't. So it's one of those try. Like, you just got to try these things. You've got to try the collaboration. Some collaborate very well together. Some do not. Spirit's just sending me a whole bunch of people in my life. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't work. But this one worked great. We've all got different missions, meanings, agendas. So when you take the beauty of what you do, Sandra, and add in Daphne, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And all of us have been able to be gifted by many experiences with people. I mean, it's why we're able to utilize so many incredible guests on our show. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so cute. You say our show. This is your show, Nancy. I keep telling you, this is your show, and we are guests on your amazing show. But we are, I mean, I know I am grateful to be here as your wing girl as we talk to all these people. I feel so blessed that you asked me.
Oh, you know what? We have certain people that we can depend on, and you are one of my people. I like that Daphne and I watched Yellowstone for a long time, and she's my train station shoveler, right? No doubt.
I'll bring the shovel. Just say.
Yeah, everybody needs one of those, right?
We all do. We need that. We need that shotgun person in our lives.
Yeah.
You know, because if we don't recognize our own go-to behaviors, we can utilize the people that have the emotional intelligence, the verbiage, the words, to be able to, you know, not just say, okay, Nance, throat punching is not allowed. It's allowed, but I don't recommend it. What's really going on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, that's, you know, like when Daphne, you know, I said it's like go, go, go all the time. And like I said at the beginning, what I start to do is I start to throw out self-care. No, you know what? I had made a decision in, I think it was October. I went, okay, you know what? That's it. I'm not going to worry about my nutrition. I'm not going to worry about going to the gym. I'm, you know, I'm throwing out the things that I know I need for me. And I had one meeting with a friend and with Lori, and she said, wow, your self-care or your self-worth must be really low. And I'm like, what? And like she said, have you been doing your self-practice? I said, no. Are you? And this is at a time, right? My heart rate, my resting heart rate had shot up. It was like, is at 80, and that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's not too much, but it's 80.
Comparatively.
It shouldn't be that high. And she said, you got to start doing what you know you need to do. And so I kind of went into the Pody stage of that. It's like, but I don't have time. And
yeah, if there was like, if it was all free,
right? So I had made a decision, like, you know what, this is kind of ridiculous. The reason why I began a fitness journey was because I was in so much pain with my back. I've had back surgery. I was hit by a car when I was 6. And exercise is what helps me to be as pain-free as I can be. And why would I throw that away? You know, when Brooklyn, that's the oldest grandchild, she's 21. I can remember when her mom, Larissa, set her in my arms for the first time. And I felt such compression in my spine. And that was like I don't think I can hold her. And she was an infant.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be this. I want to be able to hold my grandkids and not be in pain. I don't want to be afraid to run around and play with them. I want to be that grandma who can run around and play hide and seek and wrestle and do all the things, take them skating, take them swimming, do all those things. And, you know, I had to figure out how to do that because at the time I wasn't sure how. But, you know.
It's big. Same thing happened with me. I went down to Kelowna and I couldn't lift my granddaughter. Oh, and I went straight into the whole gamut of, because I was in Kelowna, which brought up a lot for me. That was like vomiting to the ocean. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nancy, some people watching this might not know that. If you care to share why Kelowna would be such a...
Oh, which part? The part about the fact that I am owed a tremendous amount of money from a divorce, my daughter's death. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. When Emily died in Kelowna, my life changed and transformed. The rage for me was insatiable. And then when my husband left me for another woman, I'm only smiling because her name was Brenda, and so is Daphne's mom, and many other Brendas in my life. So I couldn't even look out on the lake because I didn't know if I would see their boat or his boat. Insatiable rage. So my granddaughter, there's 2 that live there, but Sunny, who is now 4, she's got the blessing of living 2 doors down from her grandma, and they spend a lot of time together, and it's beautiful. But there is that part of me that wants more of what I don't have. Yes. And when she's like, "Can you lift me up?" and I'm like, "Whew, yeah, I got this." And then my left arm was the only arm that could hold her because my right arm, I've got tennis elbow that's developed over years. And it just didn't happen. Yeah. So going through those emotions while I was, struggling to believe in my own self-worth because I didn't believe that I could do what I thought was a failure. Leave the corporate world again to try and do the soul entrepreneur thing again. Yeah. Boy, we look back on our lives and we forget about all the things that we did do.
Yeah, right? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get back on the horse and ride again, right, Duff?
Well, that's just it, right? And I mean, in circling back, talking about language and emotions and everything else, right? Sandra, Nancy, even myself, when those life experiences hit us and we go, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Over the years, we have developed skills, and this is where the community of people that we have brought into our lives to help support us, like you're talking, Sandra, can I speak freely? Can I be the devil's advocate? No, Nancy, throat punching is not allowed in this situation.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I had this conversation with a friend yesterday, and I told her, I said, I chose to come here to be in this lifetime to experience things, because on the other side, as a soul, you don't get to experience things. So I chose to come here for this. I chose to experience going through what I went through when I was younger, so that I could gain skills and abilities and experience things. And I'm grateful for each and every one of those experiences. Now, I don't know of anybody that would say, yeah, I'd like to go through a near-death experience and be in a coma and be on life support. I wouldn't change it for the world, because had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be where I am today. Right? Yeah. So I have made the decision this year. I don't know if you saw it, but I put it on my Facebook, to continue being the weirdo that I am. But I don't see the word weirdo or weird as anything bad. No. For lack of better words.
Yeah.
Because I see weird as a wildly enlightened individual recreating my dreams. I came here to experience. So 2024 is going to be my year of experiences. I didn't even get a chance to read what that said, Nancy, because I was kind of on a rant.
Put it back up. But I remember, you posted something before too that was spicy and that stirred up. Brainwash.
Oh yeah, somebody got really defensive about that, because I like to say to people that I want to be able to brainwash you into believing in yourself, and somebody took that the wrong way. But it's
lost it, man. Lost it. Yeah.
But everybody, I mean, you two know this, but I believe that everybody is magical in their own way. Yes. And like Nancy was saying, everybody has abilities that nobody else has. And like we were talking with somebody the other day, talking about a tree and how every tree is different and every snowflake is different. Every person is different. Nobody has to be the same.
Yeah.
Because we're all magical beings. So let's let's be the trees and grow and light everything up, so that we can all come together and share.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little passionate there, but
it's
that story.
Yeah, go.
Well, that's why we're so individual, right? That's why we have all different DNA.
So funny. That's why I'm wearing my BU shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and it's spectacular, and it's so interesting. Each and every one of us has a story. It's the hero's journey. It's the beauty of the tarot cards, which I am enamored with. That's my my back passion, is putting together a beautiful tea and tarot course so that people can come together in a community and learn about tarot cards, read tarot cards for each other, and then bring in, if you don't want to learn about tarot cards or read tarot cards, and show up and we'll read your tarot cards. So much fun, right? But that's the hero's journey, is the major arcana. And when we begin a journey, it's the fool, it's the beginner, it's the dreamer, it's the child that looks out into the world and says, ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah. And it's so wonderful. Sorry, Nancy. It's so wonderful how now with today's technology that people from other countries can watch this and see us and think about it for themselves, and think of what they want to try next. What is that one thing in the back of your head that, is that you want to do next? Like Sandra, I know that,
but I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
Right? Holistic wellness and retreats. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, that's just a dream. And it's a dream that I'm working on creating. I have a beautiful spot out here where I live, and we've got a quarter section of land. And there's one spot that I I like to go and cut the grass there. And then when it's all done, I like to stand up on a little hill that's just on this side of it. And I dream about having a retreat center. And it's going to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to start probably small, but that's how everything starts, right?
Yeah.
Kernel, acorn, oak tree.
Oh my
Right?
gosh. Remember the 80s? Bush parties and stuff like that?
Oh God, yeah, right?
Everybody just brought a hint.
That's the idea. Right?
Right?
And you begin and you start. You got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start with your friends. I'm looking at you both. So, come out. And you kind of have a brain, you kind of, right? So what are you get feedback, like what do you think? And feedback and information and that's just fodder, right? That's just stuff to come in. You go, oh, I never thought about that. And oh, I never thought about this. Or, that maybe didn't quite work, but that one, that did. So it's just about doing that. And I would love to be able to have a space where I can do massage out here. I can do personal training out here, where, my friend Joanne, she's a yoga instructor and she goes, oh, I can just see doing yoga out there in that spot, out in nature. Daphne coming up, Nance coming up.
I'm a yoga instructor as well. So
there you go. So Reiki and yoga, and your teas are phenomenal. When I have my Reiki classes, I had gotten some tea from you, and that's the tea I bring out, and it's really kind of cool.
I just, we have all these skills and so many things that we can share.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the ability to share.
Yeah.
We were taught that at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, because somewhere along the line, in whether community, generation, family beliefs, all of a sudden we're not allowed. Oh, you shouldn't be sharing that. No, don't. Oh, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Oh, don't share that idea. If you share that idea, somebody's going to steal it. Well, if they can steal your idea and take it.
Yes.
Take it. Go with it. Do what you got to do.
Recreate it. The
Yeah.
wheel.
Because you're never going to create it the way that I would have created it, because we're all different. So
when I started making jewelry years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and when you recreated this necklace for me, this was the first necklace that I got. Where is this? There we go. 8-9 years ago.
Didn't we think it was like 11? Anyways.
Oh, it was before I met Ralph.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more than 10. Yeah. And it finally needed to be restrung because the string just needed a new one. And you recreated it a little bit differently. It's always recreated a little bit differently, just like our bodies are.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yesterday I went to see Kelly Wolf, and Kelly's been a guest on our show, and it's going to be either before you or after you. I can't remember the schedule. But she had done this amazing process with me yesterday. That was mugwort in a box on my back with the acupuncture. And the way that she does things, because she's got the gongs and the forks and the oxygen therapy and all of that. I have many people that I work with because I'm blessed, and I've got many conditions within my body. Again, self-care, just the way that my physicality is, my backstory is different than yours. So this comparativeness, we are sovereign beings with the freedom, right, and the responsibility to live our lives in any way that we choose without doing harm on others. And again, even that, sometimes the shadow is necessary.
Absolutely. We are both light and dark. We are, I was going to say good and bad, but what's good and bad is perspective, right? It just depends. What's good for me might be bad for you. But we are whole, and we can't be just one. We have to be both. We need to be shadow. We need to be light. We have to be both.
I'm just thinking of the symbol I'm looking at here. You guys know my therapy room, my yin and yang symbol that hangs on my wall. It's all about balance.
It is, right? It truly is. I mean,
So much.
how can you know you're light if you don't know you're dark?
Well,
You can't.
Batman.
Yeah.
My arm,
Exactly.
I'm still a little bit tight in the shoulder, so I can't quite get my wing up. But right, like Batman,
Yeah,
Wonder
exactly.
Woman, all the heroes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we're those as well, right?
Yes.
Even just smiling at a stranger.
Yes.
Some days when you're out, just smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but we can be that hero for ourselves as well,
Oh yeah.
right? When you take that, but yeah, you never know when you're going to make a difference in somebody's life. So, you know, always smile. Always smile.
Yeah. Show up and shine, right? Show
Yeah.
up and shine
Yeah.
in whatever
Shine.
way that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes shining the emotions that are
Mm-hmm.
suppressed.
Yeah.
Spirit just reminded me of a time when I was at Save On Foods, and I was putting my groceries on the belt, and the little girl behind me asked her mom if she could have a balloon, and her mom turned and said, "No, Emma," and I just broke down.
Mm.
I was still fresh in grief. I was raw, and I
Mm-hmm.
was weeping. And I remember my groceries being carried into my vehicle.
Yeah.
Somebody paid for my groceries. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
carried my groceries to my vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I probably impacted some lives.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You know, it's funny you say you were at Save on Foods. I remember being at Save on Foods one day, and there was a lady in front of us that didn't have quite enough change to finish paying for her groceries. So I just did that
Mm-hmm.
because I could.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And being the person on the other end, I know a couple of years ago, I really kind of lost myself. I'm going to say I wasn't sure what, why, who, where, anything, and I had gone into the city to go do my training with my trainer Mark, and he just kept saying, well, like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? What's going on? And I, nothing. And I just started to cry.
Mm.
And he says, what's wrong? Have you forgotten who you are?
Mm.
He says, well, I'm going to remind you. We need people like that. So, you know, we need people when we're on this end of it, right? When you're in the store and you've lost it, like you said, and somebody just happens to come along and help you and pick it up. And Daphne, right, paying for somebody's stuff. I did the same thing. They didn't have enough money to pay for milk. I said, "Oh, I'll just put it through. I got it."
Yeah.
And you know, we need more of that actually in our lives. Somebody who's going to, you know, everybody. It's compassion. It's knowing that we're all on a journey, right? We're all here, and we're individual, but yet we're also a part of this whole.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got to be there for each other.
And bring the shovel if you need to.
Bring the shovel, bring the bat,
bring the hammer to build the building.
Bring the duct tape.
I was talking about that. My daughter-in-law Jessie in Kelowna bakes cakes, and they're gorgeous and they're amazing. And I said, like, I mean, think of the possibilities. Okay, there's the birth cake, the birthday cake, so the pre-birth, the shower, the birthday, the birthdays, the engagement, the divorce, like the divorce. Like, oh my God, you know, like the Dear John, I'm gone cake, the I'm not coming back cake, the see you next Tuesday cake. I mean, oh my God, the possibilities are endless. And when we start recognizing that there is more value in a cake that's made with heart and love than there is from that disgusting $40 mass produced cake of conformity that was cheap.
Yeah. Hey, baby.
Oh.
Are you good?
What?
Are you good? Yeah. Okay. She's so sweet.
And that's, you know what, that's beautiful right there. Just that in itself, you know, what matters most. Bam.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, to show, you know, when we're raising our kids, my own experience, right? Things have to be a certain way. You got to be a certain way. They got to be a certain way. We got to do this. And I was angry a lot of the time when I was raising my kids. But man, the grandkids, you learn that a lot of that shit wasn't actually important. It just wasn't important. I want my grandkids to know that they are perfectly fine exactly as they are. I look after my grandson Mason quite a bit, and you know, he's actually been instrumental in showing me that there's a different way to parent. Not that I'm his parent; he has a mom and a dad. But when babysitting, I realized that I have to do things differently with him because it's not going to work. He's going to dig in. He's going to dig in his heels, and he's not backing down. So I have to learn to do things in a different way.
So true.
And you know, and I remember telling him one time he didn't want to go to bed. He didn't when he was upset because it was time to go to bed, and he was crying and he was mad and he was upset and he was mad at grandma. And I don't want you to be here anymore. And I said, I know. And that's okay for you to feel that way, because right now, I imagine if I was you, I'd be feeling that way too, because I don't want to go to bed. I said, but you know what? I love you for exactly who you are, and I wouldn't want you to be anything else. So if you need to be angry at grandma right now, you be angry at grandma right now, because I know you love me and you know I love you. But it's just learning to do things differently and seeing things from a different way. And, you know, the kids need to know that you're okay to be who you are, exactly as you are. Because when you get older, some of that digging in your heel stuff, you want them to have, so that they don't get pushed around by other people. That maybe they don't need to be people pleasers. You don't have to do things just to make me happy.
Yeah.
There's always going to be, you know, some rules that we all have to follow. Like we can't rob banks. We can't always throat punch people. You know, there are some rules.
Throat punching is allowed in MMA-ish. Not really. That's not even allowed there, is it?
No.
I mean, it's only allowed in jail.
Yeah.
Really. And
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
No.
Yeah. It's not a good place to be. And we're learning about that as well. You know, we're learning about so many of the ways to be the peaceful warrior.
Yes.
And we're promoting a lot of peaceful warriors on this show. And
Well,
I see that. Yeah.
And sending the ripples out to let others know that it's okay to do the same.
Yeah. You can keep your boundaries. You can allow people to keep their boundaries. And you can show them that, you know, your way's not the wrong way. It's just another way. My way is not the right way. It's just another way. But just maybe play with it a little bit. See if it works for you.
Well, and that's it too. I like bare feet. Some people like fancy socks. Just saying.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's okay.
Fancy socks have a place.
Yes. Everything does. It's all the big, you know, little piece of this big puzzle that we are, you know, chances are we're never going to see the full picture. So we can make our little piece of it that we can see with the pieces that fit with us.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So true.
See, she just wraps it up so perfectly.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for
thank
sharing
you.
the
Such an
time,
honor.
space, the energy. I'm looking forward to the retreats in the spring.
Yes.
So we'll make that happen.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was such an honor to be on here with you guys. It was just fabulous. It's just fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for both of you for what you do. You know, like Daphne's shirt says, do you, be you.
Be you, be you.
You know, shine and bring your light, because, you know, there's people out there that need it. They need specifically what you have to offer. So continue, please.
We will. I promise. So until next time.
Yes.
This is the end of Stampede Wrestling here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It's been a while since that show's been on. Shows my my saging aging. So thank you once again, and until next time, peace out. Love you to the moon and back.